everybody, and welcome back to my video and my craft room. And we are here for my craft room series for the summer. I'm cleaning things up and purging some things, and then I'm doing a big move of my desk. And the last, I don't know, 13, 14, 15 days has been really awful with the heat wave that we're dealing with in California. So my content has the video and the filming and the working in the office has been a little bit slower going, but I have made some progress. And today we're going to take a look at my album wall, which is right here. I've slowed this footage down because I was just filming and I just went from one spot to the next spot to the next spot, and I forgot to do a introduction of what I was doing. So here is my album wall right here, and what we're going to do is clean it up. I need to rearrange some things and I need to shift some albums down. I'm running out of room for albums, so that's what I need to do. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to dive right in to the footage, and then I will catch you on the flip end when I share the final result.
I've made a little bit of progress. The first thing I did is I cleaned up all of this and dusted it and then situated the albums. So the two gray ones are my past albums, which just mean if I complete a layout like that is from the middle of 2010, I'm not going to go try to insert it into my 2010 album. I'm just going to stick it in one of those gray albums. Then there's 2005, 2006, which 2005, 2006, and 2007 were not family albums. They were just my albums. 2006, we got married, so it sort of became like a family album, but I just continued on. Then 2008 is like when we started having kids, and so it became more of like my family album, like my catch-all. I really like transitioned from a personal album to like a family album. So all of the light blue ones right here are Becky Higgins albums that came with a core kit, and they're the like cardboard type album. They don't hold up really well. And then these here are mint colored, and those I transitioned from post-bound albums to 3-ring albums a few years back, and I did the mint color. And then I have like the light blue color, which is when 2011 is when I started Project Life. So then I transitioned into the Aqua albums, and those have not held their color really well. You can tell these two at the end, and then this one over here, they're discolored from the sun. That just happens. I'm not terribly worried about it. So then family albums all to the Aqua colored albums, and then in 2022, I started getting the mint colored albums, and they go all the way to 2024 and then 2025. The last two albums on the end there are empty, and they will be next year's album. That's how I always do my albums, is at the beginning of the year, I buy 2 for the following year, and I always have 2 on hand to start the year. Then this right here, this clear container is Kayla's container. Those I get asked all of the time. They are from the Container Store. Those are the same containers that I do my 12 by 12 organization in. They are from the Container Store. I've never found anything else that holds 12 by 12 items. They are called multi-purpose bins. When I was getting them, they were very inexpensive. They were like $1.99 to $6.99. And now I've been made aware that the price has gone up, but they're worth every penny. And in my opinion, they're really still not that expensive compared to some of the other things that you can get. So I have Kayla's bin, and that is where I organize all of their current stuff that's going in their albums. So if I do a layout for them, if I get prints, like Project Life app prints printed and I'm not putting them in their album yet, that's where that stuff goes. So then Kayla's albums are navy blue. Now she's going to need more room, which I probably, well, the pink ones are going to go away. So that's the other thing is that her albums currently are navy and pink because I'm transitioning the pink to navy. So there's plenty of room there for her. And then the next bin starts Violet's section. And then Violet's albums are the lime green. I'm leaving one slot open because I do need another album for Violet. And then I'm just leaving Andrew's stuff the way it is right here. Instead of putting his clear bin at the beginning of his albums, I'm just leaving it just like that. Andrew's albums are the black albums, and well, I'm just not even worried about Violet's and Andrew's right now because my big project right now is dealing with Kayla's albums. Then I'll move into Violet's, then I'll move into Andrew's. And then there's a little bit of an empty spot here. I need to dust that spot, but then I moved my page protectors up to that slot. Now, those are like, they're my extra page protectors. I literally have probably like 8 or 9 packs of design A. And then I have some other designs in there that I have a lot of. Now, my page protectors are organized up here, and this is where I grab them more. They're in these albums and then these 2 places right there. These over here are literally just, I don't know how else to organize them where they're not going to get bent. It's not exactly perfect in that basket right there, but it's the best I got right now. That may change, but I wanted them up higher because I have been accessing them a lot. And right there, I can pull that basket out, balance it on my hip or my leg, and dig through and get the page protectors that I need. I shifted all of my 10 by 10 albums down. These are my editorial layouts that I do, and there's an album for each subject. I'm not really focused on those this year right now. And so I moved those down. I have one other album that's going to go right here. That's a 9 by 12 album. That is a week in the life and a day in the life. And I'll put that there. And then these are my layouts that I've created that are without photos. They're my simply layered pages. And I need to make sure all of those are photographed, but then I need to start figuring out what to do with them. If you're in my Life Simply Documented community, my membership, then I give away a layout set every month to a member in my membership. So I do filter through those, but they're getting out of hand. I need to figure out what to do with them. I probably need to use some of them throughout our albums. So they are there. This box right here is Andrew's work. And again, I went through Kayla's work and Violet's work and threw a bunch of stuff away and then got out what I wanted to keep. And I have that now in another spot. Andrew's I haven't done yet. And then Violet and Kayla, they don't need to put their work down here anymore. They're in upper grades where they're not keeping their work. I don't need it. And so that was great emptying those 2 out. I still will save one for Andrew. I probably need to go through that before the school year starts and throw away what is extra. Then down here is craft room decor items and then notebooks. And then I have 2 slots that are totally open, which is great. So now up here, I don't really have like these this one right here is old planners. So I keep my planners at the end of the year, and that's what's in this one. Then there's one that has glass jars and whatnot. There's one that has extra lighting that I'm not positive I want to get rid of right away. And then there's one that has clear DVD cases for stamps. That I use, and I think there's some extra storage items. So it's just kind of like dead storage up there. I'm going to dust up there, but I need my husband's help because even with a step stool, I cannot reach all the way up there. So I'll do the top when my husband can help me. And then I have these 2 empty ones, and I was going to throw them away, but I think that they will fit right here. And if you recall, what I have right here are just boxes. They are, what are those? The medium flat rate priority boxes. I think that this will fit here, and I think I'm going to switch this out and I can take these back to the post office. I just used to need these for work related stuff when I was doing Stampin' Up! Full time. I don't need them, but they were like perfect right there. So I just put some fabric, you make work what you can make work, right? So I just put some fabric over it, and then I stuck my tray on the top of that, and then that worked. But I think I can use these, and then I will also be able to have storage in these as well, and it'll be easier to get to. So I'm going to do that next after I dust that. And then this is pretty much done. I just need to do this corner and figure that out. But the shelving, I think, is pretty much done other than just straightening a few things. And I was able to go through things, shift everything around, make room for all of our albums. And I think it looks really good. I'm really, really happy with that. So let me do this corner and then I'll check in with you again for this side of the room. All right, I'm back to share the final look with the exception of what is up top. It's the same as it was in the last clip. My husband has not had time to help with up there. So I just need to put a few things away, get rid of a few things. I probably need to dust up there as well, but otherwise that's not a problem. I'll do that real quick when he has time. So here is how the shelf has come together. I'm really happy with shifting everything around. I need to do that occasionally as I add more albums. I mean, this was always my vision for this back wall when I moved into this office, was to have an entire shelf that had all of our albums. Now they're all in here currently, but I do rotate them out and put them in our living room. I have a spot on a hutch that I just leave one open, and the kids and we definitely look through them. And so that's really nice. I feel like it's a lot of work that we put into these albums. And sometimes when they just sit on a shelf, it's not very fun, right? So I do that, but they're all in here right now. As I was shifting things, I wanted to make sure that I had space for everything. So there's a couple other things on the shelf that you will notice. There is, right here, there is a book, and that book, you'll see it 3 times. There it is the Oh, the Places You Will Go book. And I have one of those books for each of the kids. And at the end of each school year, I ask their teacher or important people from their school to write a note to them. So last year, the principal wrote in violets. Once they get into high school, like Kayla, I haven't done Kayla's since she's been in high school. Now I will, actually this year, probably I will ask a couple, her drama teacher, some people that she spends a little bit more time with. I will ask them to write a little note in it, and then I will give that to her when she graduates. And they don't know that I'm doing this. They don't know what it is. They know the books are there, but they've never looked at them or grabbed them or seen them. And so when they graduate, I will give that to them. And it's just a nice little thing that I've done since they were in elementary school. And so that is there. And then there's a few other things. There is some of Violet's. There's a little clear bag of Violet's work by one of her albums that it's from her box. And then also Kayla has a little bag like that. That is from her work, from her box. That was just the best way that I could. I put it all together, and then it's stuff that's going to either go in their album or that I'm going to photograph to put in their album. And if you haven't seen the process of how I do that, I'm sure you will as I'm working through Kayla's albums. And then I have Kayla's Navy albums. One of her albums is down on this shelf. It's just because that's what I'm currently working on, and there's not a lot of space up here where her pink albums are, but I will just be rotating her stuff from the pink ones into the blue ones, and then I will save a couple of her pink ones. The chevron one down there has the layouts from her first year album that are not going in her first year album that I'm keeping. I will probably transition that to a pink album when I have one available, and I'll probably just keep that in a pink album. And then the other albums I'll just donate. The other pink ones I'll donate and get rid of. I won't need them. So that is the current status of her albums. And then Violet's albums are the green ones, like I said before. And then Andrew's are the black. I did end up changing Andrew's stuff over so that his container was at the beginning of his albums. I know I wasn't going to do that, but it just worked out after I dusted that and realized I just wanted their container to start their row of albums. And then that way it's clearer for me in the moment. I'm always the thing that I'm always focused on is systems to help me do this. This is a lot of memory keeping. Doing a family album, doing my personal album, doing the mini albums I do, doing albums for all my kids, it is a lot. And if you don't have systems in place to help with the situation, there's just no way you can keep up on it. There's no way that you can efficiently do this, and it becomes very overwhelming. And so for me, even just the placement of the containers on the shelves is important, because in the middle of things, life gets so busy, and in the middle of work and life and school and craziness, if I can stay organized and know, like, okay, at the start of Andrew's albums is his container, I just need to drop these things in his container, that's going to be a lot easier on me than the containers all being in different places and not knowing which one is which. And it's the reason that their container is right before the start of their albums and the containers aren't all together. Now, it might look nicer maybe if I had all the containers on one shelf, but then I'm going to have to constantly make sure I know which one is which. And yes, I can label them. Like, it's not that hard to label them, but y'all know how it is when it's crazy and things are busy, and it's just, I feel like avoiding a disaster by just having them set up in a very specific way. And so that's why I did that. I shifted that over. So then Violet's box, or Andrew's box, is still down there. Now, I was able to get those boxes under here. So there's 2 of those black boxes stacked right there. And they're just basically like dead storage. They're storage I don't need to get into on a regular basis. I just put my piece of fabric back there. It looks nice now. Before, I needed to store the boxes, the priority boxes, and I didn't always need to see them. I just needed them on hand for when I needed them. Now, I could just leave the boxes and it would totally be fine, but I had the piece of fabric, so I put it back there. And then the Chevron album is right there. That is holding Kayla's first year layouts that are not going into her album that I photographed. And then I added the 9x12 album there. And then my smaller albums are there, my 10x10 albums. And I'll probably dive back into that project. It's an ongoing project. I'm just not keeping totally up on it. And then down below is craft room decor. I always have a box in here that has different things, picture frames or different things that maybe just aren't necessarily up in my room right now, but I might need or I might want, or, a project that I'm working on. And then the 2 floral albums are Violet's first year albums. And then there is an album down there for Kayla's second year album that I'll be diving into next. And then there's a few layouts right there. These are, I don't know that I explained all these layouts very well. Those are my simply layered pages. And every month I have the Blessed to Scrap workshop where I create 2 layouts, and I don't have photos for them. I just create them using paper and embellishments, and I create them and I show you how to create a traditional layout in a very simple way that you can add photos to. And there is a PDF included with that. And then there are 2 exclusive, it's either 1 or 2 exclusive videos, depending on if I just put both layouts in one video or I break it up into 2. But those are exclusive to my membership. So the Blessed to Scrap workshop is available in my community, in my membership here on YouTube, or if you're on the website and you join, you get access to those videos. And now currently there are like 2 years, so there's like at least 24, I would say, past videos of double-sided scrapbook layouts to each month that you can go back and see. So when you join my community, when you join the membership, you can go back and look at all of the past content that is there. So there is a ton of content that is already there, as well as what I do every month. And those are what those layouts are of. I give a layout away every month to a member in the community. So I just pick a layout and then I pick somebody in the community and I send them the double-sided layout, and then you can add your photos to it and use it in your albums. And so I do that, but it's only 1 layout a month. And so I have quite a bit of them, and I don't I don't know, I need to go through and organize them a little better and then figure out what to do with them because there's quite a few of them. So that's what those layouts are of. And I can pull them out and add photos to them and use them in my own memory keeping, which is probably something that I should do. Like I should go through and see which summer ones I have and then use some summer ones this for July in our family album. So I will do that. It is just one of those things where they've piled up and I need to figure out how to use them better. And then I have one empty slot, which is really nice. It's always nice to have some items that are empty. I might put Andrew's box down on the bottom now that I'm looking at it and put all my albums and layouts higher up. That might work better. And then that last box is just notebooks. So they're all of my notebooks that I use for work. They're just like literally blank notebooks. And I just pull from that. I got a bunch back. My favorite notebook from Target is the Green Room 3, like the wired notebooks. And when school supplies go on clearance, you can often get those for really inexpensive. And so I picked up a bunch a couple years ago. And so Andrew gets in there for them. My husband, when he needs a notebook for work, he gets in there. You know, it's just one of those things that I have on hand. And then just over here on top, there's a bunch of frames on top of here. And that is for a home decor project that I'm doing. I want to do a gallery wall and we need to paint the wall and fix a few things. And then I have these frames and I want to do some crafty stuff and then be able to hang those up. And then I have a basket down here. It has my spray paint that I use for in this room, the 2 teal colors that I use. It just has that. And then I think there's a sewing project in there. I think there's a shirt I need to fix for Kayla, which I probably should actually do. And then the last thing on this wall is just my stamps. So that is where all of my Stampin' Up! Stamps are. It's also where all of my Stampin' Up! Punches are. And then my other punches. And then at the very bottom of that shelf right here is my workbooks. So anything that is like a business book is right there, along with some wrapping paper that I have in here, and then my background stamps, those types of things. I'm so sorry I'm getting shaky because it's getting hard to hold the camera. So that is this back wall. I'm super happy with it. Honestly, there wasn't a lot that needed to be done with it. I needed to shift some albums around. I always need to do that every couple years as I get more albums, and then just clearing out some of those boxes that I didn't need anymore. So next week, you will see the desk being moved. It's already been moved and I've already filmed this part of it. There's still a few random things now that need to be put away. Some of Andrew's stuff is in here, but my new piece of furniture is put together and that is there. And this was quite an ordeal. We did it in the middle of the really severe heat. I had a major meltdown. It was not good. It was not good, but I filmed all of it. So you'll get to see that next week. And then this Friday, I will have another installment for Kayla's album that I'm working on. So I hope that you'll join me for that. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about this back wall or anything that I've used or anything that I've done, please let me know. And I am happy to answer any questions. I hope you're all surviving this summer, having a great July, and I'll be back next week.
Thank you for joining me today. There are 2 other videos here on the screen that you can check out if you would like. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I am very close to 20,000 subscribers and I am trying to get there by the end of the year. So if you could hit that subscribe button for me, that would be amazing. Thank you so much and I will catch you in my next video.